All right, hey, it's Joe Rao here. I'm sitting inside the new Chevy Bolt, which is Chevy's new all-electric vehicle. This thing's really different. If you look at the design of the dash and everything, it's way different than anything I've ever seen GM do. This one does have the push-button start, so this is our looking for the key right here. All you do is when the key's inside, put your foot on the brake, hit your little start button, and it turns blue. It's so weird to hit the start button and not hear an engine crank. Right here we got a really large infotainment screen. It almost reminds me like an Apple product with how pretty it is here. You can pull up all your stuff here, your audio.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection. Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
So that's just telling us about the Wi-Fi built in the car. You get a free trial with. Of course, you get all your Sirius info in that. So pretty cool stuff. As you go back, you can hit your home button, get to all your other things that you might be interested in looking at. Here you can see the time since your last full charge, what you've used your energy on, the driving, the climate control, where your battery's at too. So pretty cool little screen here as you can go around and go between your different modes. But this thing actually has a ton of power. When we drove it over here, I was really surprised. I ended up inadvertently spinning the tires at 40 miles an hour. The gauges are really nice looking too. Here we can see the power we're consuming on the right side with how much power we have left on the left side. So I'm just going to pull it back into drive here, and we'll take it for a little spin. Oh, here we can get Ashlyn to throw her seatbelt on here while we're going. But here we are. I'll pass you the camera back here. Now this one is still pretty neat that it gives you a lot of the creature comforts like heated seats and that type of thing. Now that stuff, as weird as it sounds, will affect your range a little bit because you're using the power, which does make sense when you think about it being all electric powered. So you can actually see how much of your battery power you're actually using on that. But for the thought of never having to buy gas again and the amount of money you could save is just really some big savings. So I get out here and get in front of some traffic. See if we can get going without burning the tires out. But you can see on the right, it's actually showing me how much power I'm consuming, and that type of thing. Right there, we are up to about 64. But just slowing down here, I'll let us slow down a little bit and give it some good gas. Here we're going 50, and it just really ripped your head right back. That was just about 60 miles an hour right there. So I was really surprised because normally you look at these cars like this and you think of, like, you know, the images of a Chevy Sonic or something like this having a 4-cylinder, and this thing really just rips. Like when you first hit it, the big thing about electric is you get instantaneous power, so you get 100% of your torque without having to have an engine rev up. So it really gives you that head snapping back. It caught me and my assistant Ashlyn by surprise. Right here I'm off the gas. You can see we're slowing down a bit and we got the regeneration. We're actually regenerating the battery at 13 to 15 kilowatts there. Here we'll give her a little bit more juice again. And it's pretty wild. You can see even the outside trim ring here around my speedometers telling me that I'm driving green for being economically friendly. And then when I hit the gas, you can see as I start consuming more, it goes back to being yellow. So seems like that first 5 miles an hour you pick is just instantaneous. Then after that, you can feel it still pulling kind of like a regular car. But I mean, this thing almost pulls like a Corvette for that first second or two that you hit. Well, probably half a second that you hit the throttle. But it's pretty neat. I was just really impressed with this. And you get a ton of room around here in front of the dash. The dash is so low and far away until you get into the screen. It's really neat. Even down below here, I mean, if you're a lady with your purse, how cool is that? You don't have that big middle area that's taken up. I mean, it's just really changed the way you think about what's normal in a car when you go to this all-electric mode. You get the little side windows there that will reduce your blind spots when you're peering around, so your visibility is good on it. But it's really cool stuff. So it really took me by surprise on how neat this car is. The other thing that's a little different on it too is if you're looking to heat up or defrost your windows, it's actually using an electric heater to do that. So in the wintertime you might notice you're using a little bit more of your range on keeping the car warm and that type of thing. But to think that you can get away and just spend, you know, 10% of what you normally do on getting your car around on just buying electricity instead of the gas prices and everything is just really cool stuff. I mean, how neat would it be to have a house where you already had renewable energy and you didn't have to pay anything at all for driving. And right there with a hard acceleration, you could hear it starting to chirp the tires at 30 miles an hour. So this thing really is pretty fun to drive. I was telling my sales manager, it'd be pretty cool if they put this in something sporty looking and kind of neat, as the hatchback's not quite my styling. Some people really go nuts for it, but this is something if they put in a sporty package, I would happily drive. So I think looking at how nice the systems are designed in that, they really have a good competition to the Tesla, who's always been the name on these electric vehicles. So and you get this nice quiet ride. It's just kind of crazy when you look at how this thing actually moves around and gets up and goes. You see here our backup camera is nice and big. As I turn the wheel, it's actually giving me a grid as to where my car is going to go, along with seeing the edge of my bumper there, and right there I'm within 3 feet of another obstacle, so it alerts me. Here I am in park. A couple other cool things on here. You can see that I can tap on here, see when I'm plugged into the charge station, put on a charge limit as to how many amps we're doing, and then a priority charging to have it for whatever time you want to make sure you're charged by, or temporary override some of that stuff. As I go back to my home menu here, you can see you can go and have all your other stats back on your display. We have our heated seats, temperature inside the car. We still have our manual controls, so these are easy to do and not take your eyes off the road. And then your steering wheel gives you all the regular stuff. We have our heated steering wheel button here, our cruise control, our favorites we can pull. On the back side of this, I have my my volume. On the left side, I believe I have something I can do the regenerative braking on the left. I couldn't tell you for sure. I'm not 100% trained on this one quite yet. But a pretty nice ride. As I hit my power button to shut it off, no engine to be quiet, but right here we can see my energy usage since the last full charge, my range, and if we plugged in, it would start charging immediately. The thing you can set on this too is you can actually adjust when it would start charging. If you're somewhere where with your power grid, you would actually get different rates at different times. So if your utility rates go down at midnight, you can have it start charging at midnight and get the power when it's cheaper too. So I always thought that was pretty cool. If you want to come by, take one for a spin, get a hold of me on my office phone, 989-497-5283. I'd love to take you for a spin, show you what the future of cars might look like. We just saw an article saying in 2025 GM was thinking about being 100% electrified. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, especially on the performance end of things too. So thanks for watching. Feel free to comment or ask any other questions.